Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Flegner, and today we are going to start to talk about timelines. In Writer's Workshop, we have been working really hard to learn about biographies, and now that we've started to select or choose the person that we are going to learn about for our final project, we need to start to think about some different things that we might see in a biography. So here's what we're going to do today. Today we will learn what a timeline is, watch a video about timelines, and then on Seesaw, we will start to make a list of what could go on our timelines for our biographies. So what is a timeline? A timeline is kind of like a number line. The numbers or words name years, hours, or other times. You can use a timeline to put events in order. And that's what we're going to start to learn how to do in our own writing. Okay, let's take a look at our video.
A timeline is a great way to illustrate a set of historical events. The events on a timeline usually follow a theme or take place within a specific period of time. To make a timeline, first create a list of events you want to include and order them chronologically. That's a fancy way of saying earliest to latest. Then, look at your earliest and latest event dates to determine the period your timeline will cover. The earliest date goes at the left end of the timeline, while the latest date goes on the right. Now split the timeline into segments by drawing smaller, intersecting lines at equal lengths apart. Each line represents a unit of time. A unit can be a day, a month, a year, or even 100 years. Label every few units with the year it represents on the timeline. Now add your list of events to the timeline, marking them at the corresponding year. You can make a timeline about anything: the events of your favorite TV show, the founding of the United States, even the history of baseball.
Something to keep in mind is that the books that you are choosing to read about on Epic and on other websites like Pebble Go, they might already have a timeline in the story. So I'm just going to show you this example. So I chose Michelle Obama for my final biography writing project. And I found this great book on Epic all about her life. And in the back of the story, right behind where they talk about her legacy, they have this whole section at the end that gives some quick stats about her, her birthplace, where she was born, things like that. But they also give a really nice timeline over here. So if you find a book that also has a list of the key dates, you could use that to help you to make your timeline today. So let's just take a look at my example about Michelle Obama. So you're going to fill in the person you chose, Michelle Obama. The first thing you need to figure out is when was the person born. You should have the month, the date, and the year they were born. Then you need to list 3 important events. They could be challenges that the person went through. It could be them having a baby. It could be something they invented or a discovery that they had. So these are the 3 events that I listed for Michelle Obama. Event number 1, Michelle married Barack Obama. And down here, I put the date. If you know the month and the day, you can put the month and the day too. Event number 2, Michelle begins working at the University of Chicago Hospital, and I put the date over here so I know what year it was. The event number 3, Michelle became the first lady. She created a health program, and I know that was in 2009. Now down here, if the person that you're learning about has died, then you need to put the date that they died, just like the date they were born, the month, the date, and the year. If the person is still alive, you can pick another important event to write about. So because Michelle Obama is still alive, I wrote Michelle left the White House and the date was 2017. So here is your job today. You need to write down the person that you chose to write your biography about, when were they born, 3 important events about the person's life, don't forget the date, and down here, when did they die? And if they're still alive, then something else important that happened in their lives. You can also add the date when you're done. Happy writing!